I'd like to go ahead and call this meeting to order. Thank you, Justice. First, I'd like to entertain a motion to read by title only.
Motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
We will start with to be enacted, it's Appropriation Ordinance 2025 to be enacted by the Quorum Court of Marion County, Arkansas, ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance amending the annual operating budget and numbers and compensation ordinance 2024-61 for calendar year 2025 for Marion County, Arkansas. Transfer unappropriated funds from 1,000 County General to 1,000 period 0119 County General reimbursements for refunds of overpayment on March 2025 Colonial Life premium payment. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 No opposed. Appropriation Ordinance 2025 be it enacted by the Quorum Court of Marion County, Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance amending the annual operating budget and numbers and compensation ordinance 2024-61 for calendar year 2025 for Marion County, Arkansas. Transfer unappropriated funds from 1,000 County General to 1,000 period 0119 County General reimbursements for reimbursement of overpayment and interest on 2024 quarter 4 941 payment. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the next ordinance, an ordinance amending the annual operating budget and numbers and compensation ordinance 2024-61 for calendar year 2025 for Marion County, Arkansas. The position, title, classification, and compensation for the position of library director is amended consistent with the responsibilities and function. May I entertain a motion?
Motion.
May I get a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
May I point out one?
Yes, Justice.
I met with the library board twice on this ordinance, and this is their language, or approved language. So, this is their guidance. I was hoping for less, but this is what they believe to be, competitive.
Yes.
So I just wanted to point that out. Thank you.
Okay. Any further discussion?
I would like to see a range for that compensation, not locked into one number.
I agree with that, because if somebody that comes in with fresh out of college, no experience, shouldn't get paid the same as somebody that has 10 or 15 years worth of experience. Experience counts for a lot.
I would point out that I made the point to the board that this is a cap. The person would not have to be paid that amount. It's pretty traditional to be paid lesser amount until proven to be paid higher amount. And I also made the point that according to Arkansas's Constitution Amendment 55, compensation is the sole jurisdiction of the Quorum Court. So these are suggestions or recommendations for the court to consider.
Any?
Max. What's the max? 1925.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay, appropriation ordinance 2025 be it enacted by the Quorum Court of Marion County, Arkansas, and ordinance to be entitled, an amendment to the annual operating budget and numbers and compensation ordinance 2024-61 for the calendar year 2025 to correct a job title error in the treasurer's office. Do I have a motion to table?
Motion to table that. I'll motion that.
May I get a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Why table?
We would like to table it until budget season.
Oh, okay. That's.
It's not an indefinite table,
That's
it's still
what-
budget season.
Okay, thank you.
I apologize for not being clear. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The last ordinance of the evening, be it enacted by the Quorum Court of Marion County, Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance establishing a voluntary contribution on every tax statement for real property and personal in Marion County for the purpose of funding for School of New Hope. May I entertain a motion?
I'll motion.
May I get a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Is this gonna actually be on the tax bill? I don't know if we-
Yes, ma'am.
It will, it be on, it's not gonna be like an insert, like.
No, we will, had several discussions with Tammy Dearmore
Okay.
earlier this year. And it just did not work out. I did talk to John Russo
Mhm.
2 or 3 times. I talked to Tammy Dearmore probably 6, 8, 9 times. And it just did not work out. We have a new printer and mailer, and the way, it just did not happen. I am all for this being on the statement. I have no problems with that. And I've already briefly brought it up to our software team. And all we have to do is just let them know when it's gonna happen and how we want it done.
And then we'll just create a separate account for all of that to go into.
Yeah, just like everything else, they'll just put something, something else on there, because we have real and personal fire departments.
Mhm.
And this will just be whatever it legally has to be called, and it will be handed over to the treasurer, just like everything else.
Excellent.
And
Thank you.
then, sorry, this will be that little box like Mr. Walzer showed us, the example tax statement.
I
Is that
don't know
kind
if
of
it's going to be like that.
Okay.
It has to work with my
With your
statements.
software, okay.
Yes, and so, I don't know if it's gonna look like that or not. They usually give us 2 or 3 to choose from.
Gotcha.
So we're just gonna have to see which one works out best for us.
Okay,
But there's no problem putting it on there.
good deal. Any other discussion?
I have one other note.
Yes, ma'am.
The ordinance that I received a copy of, about midway through the first page says, whereas the Marion County Budget Committee met on the 27th day of May, 2025, and recommended, wouldn't that need to be updated to today's date? If you do vote and refer it on?
Well, we discussed it though at that
We
meeting,
discussed it at that meeting.
and they made changes to it. But yeah,
Okay, so you're good with this?
I can ask for clarification with Russo.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm sorry, there was one other thing. They were asking for a minimum of a $15 donation. Now it's $10.
Mhm.
And never mind, I just reread something, or a greater or lesser amount. I just think if there's no amount there, there might be, because what if somebody comes in and can only give $1.75?
Mhm.
200 people get $1.75, that adds up.
Mhm.
But I underlined this, I forgot about it, but it says more or less down here, so that should be fine. I just don't want people limited to a minimum amount.
Right. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No opposed? Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Good job, guys. Oh, you're welcome. That's
You have a broker record, huh?
Yeah.